When we agreed to come here from the non-physical to the physical, in the non-physical, are we all-knowing?
That's a big word. The correct answer is yes, in the sense that you have the ability to focus upon all that has become and know it. But there's something even better about this non-physical energy. And it's going to help you with something that we really want you to know also. And that is, imagine something being all-knowing. And even though it is all-knowing, reveling in the specifics of what you're doing right here and now. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Doesn't that shine a different spotlight on the importance of who you are and what you're doing out here on the leading edge? These questions come from our human friends who have practiced for so long feeling insignificant in relationship to that all-knowing source energy. And we're wanting to help you to understand that that all-knowing source energy is focused here in all of these leading edge places with all of you, you see. With all that is. That's why this collective consciousness could be accurately called all-knowing.
So Abraham, this from going from non-physical to physical, what is that, an experiment, or what is that about?
Why bother? Why bother? Because if there were not variety, could there be preference? And if there were not preference, could there be expansion? It's necessary for the expansion of all, you see. It is a natural byproduct of perspectives. You just cannot perceive from a personal standpoint, from a personal and beautifully selfish standpoint, without having a preference erupt from it that source immediately gravitates toward, because that is what joyous expansion is. The only hang-up in the whole system, and it really isn't, only from a physical human point of view, is that part of you expands, and if the rest of you doesn't go, you feel the discord of that, you see. And that's what negative emotion is. But oh, there's such deliciousness in turning in the direction of it and aligning with it. Did we get to the heart of what you were reaching for?
Yes.
It's never easy to get your thoughts around non-physical. And you know why? Because you stand in your physical and you look somewhere where non-physical is not, and you try to figure out the things that non-physical is doing that non-physical isn't doing. And then you feel empty because you don't know where non-physical is. Your perspective of what that is not a vibrational match to what it really is. Because in your humility, or in your self-deprivation of your awareness of your own worth, you do not allow yourself to feel all of that forward in your now. It's such a wonderful thing. Watch the children, they know. They're full of all of that. Until they're not. In other words, they can pinch themselves off just like you can, and they learn pretty fast how to pinch themselves off in a competitive world where they're competing for attention or for approval. But once you begin demonstrating your stable alignment with source energy, your steady knowledge of the value of that which you are, your steady attention to your own well-being, once you, thought by thought and experience by experience, reach for the best feeling thought that you can find, and then stay focused there until the grid fills in and you feel your power coming specifically to this moment. Are you getting the sense of this? Are you getting the sense of how life causes you to identify things you want, but you're not in alignment with them, but the source within you is, and the source within you is continuing to flow in the direction of what you're wanting. And the more you generally are finding alignment with well-being by looking for reasons to feel good, that your grid begins to fill in more and more with who you really are, until in any moment in time the fullness of who you are can be present and focused and having the conversation or the acknowledgement. That's what you all came to be. Not one of you said, I'll go forth and deprive myself of most of me, and I'll just bang it around, and then when I die, you can let me know how well or not well I did. There's nothing like that going on. You have come as creators, and this is the creative leading edge. You're not dead or alive. You're alive. You're always alive. It's just a matter of focused consciousness, which is where your first question came in. Can you get back to it? Because you are moving in a very strong way there.
It was about the non-physical. once we go back to the non-physical, the people that we've loved, will we know them again from the love that we held from them, for them? Like when you go, or like when I go back to the non-physical, will I, for instance, know the energy that was my mother, my father?
Yes, of course you will. But here's the thing that you're missing that we really want you to hear. Why wait till you reemerge into non-physical when mom and dad are right here on the leading edge with you in the moment? In other words, you deprive yourself of all who love you because you think they're dead. You misunderstand. You think they're somewhere else. You don't understand that they're here on the leading edge with you. Esther was watching on the airplane the other day a documentary. It was really a beautiful documentary about the founder of Apple's. And as she was watching it, she could feel him all over her. She could feel his enthusiasm for the documentary. She could feel the parts that were on and the parts that were off. She could feel his enthusiasm for all of the things that he set into motion. She could feel that he is more alive today than he's ever been. He's free of resistance and infinitely interested in everything that's going on. People are wondering, well, will technology go on like it will? Well, if there are anyone tuned into it. So Esther wrote a whole list of questions. She thought of all of these things that she wants to know about him. And he answered every single one of those questions. In other words, you deprive yourself of all of that intelligence because you assume that they are no longer here, first of all, or that they are not interested in what you are about. And we want you to know all of that consciousness is infinitely interested in what you are about. You just have to focus in a way that allows that energy to flow through you. You're not regurgitators, you're creators. You hear us say as we begin these gatherings, this is co-creating at its best. It is co-creation at its best because no consciousness ever disappears. Consciousness continues. The question is, me, out here, human, in my human form, on the leading edge, am I perceiving life in a way that allows all of this infinite intelligence that is amassed to benefit me in this moment in time as I direct it toward this specific subject, which is my interest? Or am I depriving myself of it because I've categorized all that as something else and categorized me as something else? So I'm just banging around in the physical, just sort of out there, out of the vortex, comparing myself with a whole bunch of other people that are out of the vortex and calling this life on planet Earth.
One more.
Are you getting this? Are you understanding the power of who you are and what's available to you? Good.
I have one more question about source.
So what's it all about? What's it all for? What's it all for? Why go to all of this trouble? If I was source energy and I understood all of this before, tell me again, why would I come into this experience? We won't yell. Esther translates our enthusiasm in volume. Because this is the leading edge, and it's where we all want to be. It's where the new ideas are bursting forth. It's where the new energy is flowing. It's where it's all happening. You are out here on the leading edge, and the happier you are, the more you are allowing all that we are to flow with you in this leading edge moment. So does that make it go better? Yeah, but that's not the point. It's for the revelry. It's for the joy. It's for the feeling of expansion. It's for the feeling in the moment. Everything that every one of you want, no matter what it is. A material object, a relationship, a pile of money, a circumstance, an event, an empire, everything that you want, no matter what it is. You want it for one reason only, and that is you think you will feel better in the having of it. And if we can convince you that you can find the feel better part even before it fills in manifested form, then you've got it all figured out. If you can turn it to the place where you can feel it first, then you've got what you were going for anyway, but the grid has to fill in with the details. But if the grid filling in with the details is the reason that you're doing, then it's all out of whack and it won't work. Isn't it interesting? We have to convince you that the manifestation doesn't matter before the manifestation can happen. I don't want the manifestation. Oh yeah, I do. I really do. I really do. I really do. I don't want a virtual lover. I don't want a virtual pile of money. I want the real thing. But what you want is the feeling of it. You want the feeling of it. And when you find the feeling of it, the grid will fill in with the specifics of it. But if the specifics of it are so important that you're all bent out of shape because the specifics of it haven't filled in yet, then you don't find the vibrational feeling place of it, and then the grid doesn't fill in. Isn't that interesting? You've got to find the feeling of it, and when you find the feeling of it, then as our friend said earlier, then It's just the next logical step, and it doesn't matter that much. So where do you find your joy in all of this? Abraham, are you saying that first I have to figure out that I want it, and then I have to get over not feeling bad that I don't have it before I can have it, but then by the time I get over not feeling bad about not having it, and I have it, then it's no big deal? Is that what you said? Pretty much. That is what we said. And that causes your brain to twist into a knot because it's sort of sideways of the way that you've been looking at it. But consider this. What if you intended to come and explore the buffet and that it was all right even though you liked some of it more than others of it? What if that was the plan all along? What if you came to use the power of your ability to focus to define what you specifically want because you understood that once you line up with that it would flow to you? What if you knew that the source within you would hold the pure positive part of everything that you asked for and send you a steady stream so that you would always know the path of least resistance toward the fullness of what you want? And what if what you want is joyful moment, joyful moment, joyful moment, joyful moment, joyful moment? What if you came to go from a moment of interest to a moment of love, to a moment of joy, to a moment of fascination, to a moment of passion? What if the whole reason that any of this exists is just for these joyful moments of divine intertwining with one another, for the purpose of allowing that which is source and that which is love to flow radiantly through everything that exists? What if that is really what it is all about? And what if you were born with such a magnificent guidance system that you can tell in the nanosecond that you're beginning to deviate from it? What if you have such supreme guidance within you because you've been at this for a long time, because you are a powerful, powerful creator? What if in the moment that you feel a little bit of negative emotion, you could say, I can feel that guidance. I can feel that I'm starting to deviate from what life has caused me to know that I want. Now, how is it that I can come back into the alignment, to the full, in this present moment, joy that I am all about? So many people stand in the absence of something wanted, using the absence of that something wanted to deprive themselves of the alignment which is necessary for them to have what they want. Isn't it just the most fascinating thing? Don't you find it fascinating that once you don't care if it manifests and you're all excited about aligning with the essence of it, that then the grid must fill in with the details of it? And that's why you came. Because nothing is more delicious than the molding of this clay. Nothing is more delicious than to define what you want from your important perspective. Nothing is more important than to launch a rocket that you're not completely up to speed with, and then to get up to speed with it because you are exercising the power of your own ability to focus with source energy, encouraging you every step of the way and adding more emphasis and more energy. Nothing feels better than coming into alignment, you see. So would you ever be able to experience the deliciousness of coming into alignment if you never got out of alignment? Would you ever be able to experience the true deliciousness of a fabulous meal if you'd never been a little hungry? Isn't the contrast part of what sharpens not only your desire for things, but your appreciation of them, you see? So it's just this constant platform of never-ending opportunities to appreciate this moment, this person, this interest, this idea, this piece of art, this planet, this idea, this, more. It is the mantra of the universe, you see.